Jess. I work in the Rehab Psych Lab here at Parkwood, and we'll be talking to you today about a content analysis my colleagues and I conducted titled Internet-Based Sexual Health Resources for Those Living with Spinal Cord Injury. Spinal cord injuries disrupt physiological functioning, which can significantly impact sexuality post-injury. Sexual health is poorly integrated in inpatient and community rehabilitation settings, and this lack of sexual health education and counseling can lead to impaired emotional and physical health, as well as decreased quality of life. Due to the sensitive nature of the topic, clinicians and those with lived experience rarely broach the topic. Rather, those with SCI may rely heavily on internet health resources for this information. Therefore, evaluation of current internet health resources is warranted to identify the gaps in literature. The aim of our study was therefore to conduct a review of available sexual health resources for those with SCI on the internet and perform a content analysis. We conducted 6 separate Google searches to identify existing resources on sexual health aimed at those with spinal cord injuries. Our search terms included spinal cord injury and sexual functioning, and sexuality, and pregnancy, and LGBTQ+, and reproduction, and spinal cord injury and intimacy. Additionally, we conducted a comprehensive Boolean search on Google as well. This means we used terms such as and or, and used any terms at all that were related to our criteria. We selected resources based on the following criteria, such that they provided health education to those with SCI, were designed to increase skills-based learning or influence attitudes and beliefs leading to improved sexual health, and were of the English language. We excluded resources if they targeted healthcare providers or researchers, if the content was informational data only. So basically, we wanted to include information that would be useful to spinal cord injury patients. So we tried to refrain from using things like scientific articles that were heavy on statistics. And all the identified resources were converted into PDF format and imported to NVivo qualitative analysis software, where we conducted a thematic content analysis. We ended up with 123 resources being included in our final analysis. Most resources were informational sites, making up 58 of the 123 resources. The next most abundant types of resources were blog posts, educational pamphlets, scientific papers, magazine articles, news reports, a clinical guideline, and a device manual. The most common themes included sexual functioning, which was coded in 83.7% of the resources, reproductive health, which was found in 67.5% of the resources, and impact of secondary complications in 61.8% of resources. The least common themes were psychosocial, which were present in 24.4% of the resources, stigma in 13.8% of the resources, and quality of life in 12.2%. No information was coded for LGBTQ2S+, and information specifically for women was quite limited. We found that information regarding sexual health and SCI focuses primarily on heterosexual males and specifically on sexual functioning, for example, erectile dysfunction. Resources addressing female sexual functioning and sexuality were extremely limited and focused largely on reproduction. There was a complete absence of resources aimed to address the sexual needs of the LGBTQ2S+ community, as they were not universally accessible or inclusive, nor did resources exist that address the specific concerns of the LGBTQ2S+ individuals. And finally, our study concludes that there is a necessity for internet-based sexual health resources to meet the needs of diverse individuals, including women and members of the LGBTQ2S+ community. Topics such as how sexual health changes affect psychosocial outcomes and quality of life should be addressed as well. And that concludes my presentation today. Thank you everyone for listening. There's a lot of information that we can't fit into this small recording, so please come ask any questions you may have. Thank you.